And hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is June 11th, it is Tuesday. I'm Michael Taylor, says it right there on the screen, and we have a great show for you today. I hope your week is going well. We have a great week's worth of shows, but today we're going to talk very specifically about what we have on this one. It's Pacific Financial Planners with Jerry Slusowicz. He's going to be talking about income and how you can grow income as you move towards retirement in your investments. So we'll figure out some of the ways he has for you to do just that. And then later in the program, we're going to be talking to the folks from Reform Temple of Laguna Woods. Stuart Hack is here, talking about a big show they have coming up, a big tribute memorial show for one of their longtime members. That's going to be coming up a little bit later in the program. But right now, we want to keep you informed, and one of the ways we keep you informed and stay informed is by telling you about the 2025 Annual Reservation Lottery. Don't miss out on that chance to reserve your dates for anniversaries, birthdays, family reunions, holiday celebrations, and special club events. Whatever it may be, you need to pick up your lottery card at the recreation office by, it's already open, so you can do that right now and send that reservation request via email. You need to return the completed lottery cards and requests for whatever rooms and areas you're looking for by June 17th. So that is coming up, and then you'll be notified later in September whether you got your space for your event. So make sure you do that. If you have any questions, just contact Recreation via email or the phone number there on your screen. Hey, let's take a look outside at our weather today. And you know what? It's still June. It's still gloom, but that's okay because we're having some sunny skies in the afternoons, which is really nice. It's clearing out pretty well for us. But we got basic mid-70s, low to mid-70s throughout the week. And then Saturday, we're looking for a little bit of a warm-up. We'll still have those morning clouds, but it's going to get a lot warmer, very summer-like, almost 80 degrees, which I love. Starting to warm up here. I know people complaining, oh, it's June, it's been so cold. It's going to warm up. Trust me, we're going to be missing these dates when August and September roll around. Let's take a look at our sunrise and our sunset. This is a great picture I took out when I was out on my Bronco trip this weekend over in Red Rocks Canyon, Nevada. Just a beautiful area, beautiful skies, and it was warm, let me tell you. I was missing the morning clouds when it was 100 degrees out there and we were riding around in the trucks. Sunrise this morning was 5:40 a.m. Sunset tonight is going to be 8:01. And if you'd like to send us a picture, we'd love to see it. Sunrise, sunset, your dog, your pets, walking around, places you've gone to visit. We love all those kind of pictures. Just send them to us via email, lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Make sure you include your name, where you took the photo, and we will put it in our sunrise, sunset segment. All right, let's take a look at a meeting, and then we have Pacific Financial Planners Jerry Slusowicz joining us right after the break. Stay with us.
Well, at my age, I've seen a lot of things come and go. I served in the military. I've been in law enforcement for a career of 30 years. Recently, I've had pains and aches in my feet that have caused me to dread doing the things I love. I have a friend that told me about Roadrunner Sports. I was met by a fit expert who walked me through the perfect fit zone. They measured my feet, did a 3D scan, watched how I walked, videotaped it, and showed the results. Turns out, I've been wearing the wrong size shoes for years. Now, with the right insoles and the right shoes, my feet are great. I no longer have the pain in my feet that I had. You know, at my age, oftentimes people ask me how old I am. I'm an old guy, but I gotta tell you, the key is staying active. And you gotta stay active in a pain-free way. With me, it's Roadrunner Sports for my feet.
Do you suffer from low back pain? Hoag Orthopedic Institute is the #1 provider of orthopedic and spine care in Orange County. Our Back to You program is a unique, non-operative, evidence-based approach to treating low back pain. Our spine strengthening program combines physical therapy with education on pain and nutrition. Let Hoag Orthopedic Institute's Back to You program get you back to doing what you love. For more information, visit hoiexperts.com/spine or call 855-999-4641 to find a doctor.
Hi, welcome to Pacific Financial Planners. We focus on income replacement for your retirement. We have over 3 decades of professional money management experience. We personalize a plan that's right for you and your family. You only get one shot at retirement. Don't you think you better get it right? So give us a call for your free consultation. We can do this over the phone, via Zoom, or in person.
Well, spring is a time for growth, and why can't that also apply to your investments? Well, Jerry Slusowitz from Pacific Financial Planners is going to tell us that it can. Welcome back to the program.
Hey, thanks, Michael, for having me.
And we're talking a little bit about growth. So we spend a lot of time talking about like income and risk and those kind of things. But what about growing your money? What about people who are saying, hey, I want to grow even though I'm maybe getting closer to retirement?
Well, people who are close to retirement or in retirement have to understand that there's two ways to get return. That's really what we're doing. But a lot of people say growth when they really mean return.
Okay.
So I'm an income specialist, all right? And what I've come to understand is that growing your money can come with losses. And sometimes these losses are pretty big. I mean, 2022, the market was down 27% at one point for the S&P, 37% for the NASDAQ. You go back a decade earlier, the S&P fell 50% 2 times in the decade. And so if you have $1 million and you lose $500,000 trying to grow your money twice, or $270,000, a lot of people are uncomfortable with those kind of drawdowns. Where income to get your return, or even quote unquote your growth, is a less risky strategy as you retire, because you can get dividends and interest 5 to even 10% that is more consistent than the volatility of the stock market.
Right.
See, you know, a lot of people just don't understand. One of the biggest mistakes they make is misunderstanding the volatility on the stock market and what that does to your return versus having a true income style to grow your money.
And so there's really like, there's 2 different kinds of strategies, right? So like when somebody looks at the Dow, oh, it's at record high, S&P, why am I not in there? Well, you're also remind folks that, hey, they dipped. It isn't a straight line in that world. And so there is a high risk on that end of things, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get, you know, potentially, you know, 1 year has a 20-25% return, and you don't mind losing half your money in some years, and that's okay for you. Especially if you're drawing income against your investments. Remember, our viewers, most of them, are retired. So what they give up? Their paycheck. So how are they going to replace it? Well, that's what they've saved all this money for.
Right.
So if they have consistent income and less exposure to the ups and downs of the stock market, it's a much better method for our viewers to really get their return, because it's not the end game that matters. Is how you get there sometimes, because people panic and they'll sell during those big drops and take these big losses.
Okay. Now you talk sometimes about the psychology of investing. What do you mean by that psychology? Is it just a mindset kind of thing?
Yeah, and the mindset is this, is that most of us, when we start investing, and all our viewers out there, et cetera, we start investing, you know, in our 20s, 30s, 40s, in what, a retirement plan, or IRA, or 401k,
Right.
you know, now they have Roths and those type of things. And you're saving, and what are you trying to do? Grow your money for retirement. You see all the commercials.
Right.
Grow your money, follow the green line, it's going up and up and up and up. And so that's the, you know, so-called the girl you brought to the dance. So, you know, when people say, hey, look, I've saved $1 million through this strategy, this is really cool. I'm going to just stick with it in retirement because it got me here over the last 20, 30, 40 years.
Right.
The problem with that is that when you're younger and you're dollar cost averaging in through those lows, when the market drops 50% and you buy more, you're buying twice as many shares. But when you retire, if you need to draw income off there, then you're selling when the market's down those 50 shares, so 50%. So if dollar cost averaging is good, growing your money, reverse dollar cost averaging must be bad, and I can mathematically show that to you.
Okay, so when we're taking that transition, when you're telling folks, hey, it's time to stop doing it this way, and time to start going this way, what are some of like the safe strategies that you're talking about here?
Well, again, I do this thing called the world of income as an income specialist, and you know, you start with banks, bonds, and insurance companies. Right now, banks, CDs, you can get about 5%, no risk. Bonds, treasuries, the same thing, you can get a little over 5%, state tax free, zero risk. And insurance companies, you know, they offer insured products as well. that offer 5.5%, no risk, zero. And so, if you need let's say you've got $1 million, and now you need $50,000 to supplement any pensions or Social Security you might have. If you took that through the stock market, and let's say the stock market between 2000 and 2019 returned about 6.7%, and you were drawing off 5% per year, seems like nothing. What's wrong with that, right?
Right.
You're growing
There
at
we go.
6.7.
Easy money.
You're going to have more money at the end. Because of sequence of returns, Michael, between 2000 and 2003, when the market dropped in half, your million dropped to $500,000. But if you needed 50,000 a year, you only had 350,000.
Right.
And then when it doubled between 2003 to 2007, that 350 grew to 700,000. But over those 4 years, you took off another 200,000. Now you're only at $500,000.
Right.
Today, all those years later, with a 6.7% average return in the stock market and only drawing off 5%, you only have a couple 100,000 left. Or if you had that same $1 million and you did one of these, banks, bonds, insurance company deals, you'd have all your money plus $50,000 a year. You see, that's the psychology that needs to shift when you become retired to a more conservative strategy.
You don't want to treat that. You want to treat that like a grant, or like an endowment. It's just sitting there. You don't touch it. You don't take the principal. You want to just take the income and the interest. Kind of thing, right?
I've used this on this program before, but it's kind of like having a chicken farm, and you like chickens and you like eggs. But if you can eat the eggs and live off of that's the interest income, and have just as many chickens, you're never going to run out of food.
Right.
Well, it's the same thing. If you have $1 million, you put it in the stock market, you potentially can cause yourself to run out of money depending on the sequence of returns. If you invested at the beginning of 2003 when the market went up right away, you'd be okay. But we can't predict the future of what the next sequence of return is. Look, we've been up since 2009 to today, a dramatic amount. So if you really are optimistic, oh yeah, no, the market's going to double again, well, okay, maybe you could stick with your growth strategy. But if you're not uncertain, you have to take a more certain, predictable strategy, which is getting interest and dividends, which are predictable.
Right. And like you said, some of those interests come from state bonds, and there's no state tax on that, right? That's one of the bonus and perks of investing in those areas too, right?
Yeah, if you use actually California bonds called municipal bonds, you get state and federal tax free.
Oh, really? Okay.
So those are good. But if you use
So
the
that's
federal
part of
bonds,
that has to be part of the calculus when you take that out. It's like, hey, you're maybe not getting the biggest return, but you're not paying any taxes, so the actual return is higher than maybe some other opportunities.
Absolutely. Looking at taxes is also a very, very important. Like people go, where should I draw from first? And again, I sit down with people all the time. It almost seems counterintuitive, but sometimes I tell people to draw out of their IRA, the retirement account, even though they're not 73. And they say, well, why? I go, well, you're in a low tax bracket now. And this would be a good time to reduce that, so when you hit the required minimum distributions at 73, you don't have as much of a hit then. It's the best time to control taxes is when you retire and prior to taking the required minimum distributions at 73.
Okay.
You've got to control your taxes, so it's a great point, Michael.
You also say that some state that seniors can create their own pensions. How do you kind of do that? Like pensions were those golden tickets when you get with a company for many decades, or a state pension from a teachers union, that kind of thing. People don't really have those anymore. How do you say you create that de facto pension?
Right, it used to be the three-legged stool. You're saving Social Security and a pension. But very, very few people, especially going forward, have pensions. So that's a two-legged stool that's going to fall over. So if you have some funds, and many people have way too much money in the stock market. I mean, most people I sit down with here from the village, they have way too much risk. Most people, not everybody, but a lot of them. And they could take a chunk of that money, reduce market exposure, and put it into an investment that will pay them 8, 9, even 10% income on their money for life. So let's say it's 10%. You put in $1 million, you're getting $100,000 a year income, and 10 years goes by, you should be out of money. If you live 20, 25, 30 years, you can still get that income coming in for life. It's creating your own pension. A lot of people say, geez, I don't like insured investments, things called annuities. Well, anyone who has a pension, they have an annuity. Most, ask anybody, do you like your pension? Everybody likes their pension. So if you don't have one and you have some assets, you can reposition the assets and create your own pension. I could show you how.
Okay, well, you can show us how. And speaking of that, how can you show us how? Thursday, you got your event coming up over the Clubhouse 7, I believe. And tell us a little bit more. You're going to talk about there this and a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's a group discussion. I obviously lead it, and I'll go through various things. Yeah. But it's a forum, and so there's anywhere between 35 and 60 people show up. You don't have to participate. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to say anything. You can learn, but if you have questions, you can ask. If you've got comments about what you're doing to help the group, it's a group discussion. It's very good, and this is kind of the things we're going to talk about.
Yeah, but you
And I
take
could
much deeper dives in this areas and
much
show us
deeper dive.
how
I'll
that works.
show you how that that money on the sequence of return needing income, how detrimental it was to do reverse dollar cost
Let me
average.
write this down. I might need to show up to one of these things. One of these.
Show up, everybody, you'd be the hero. They'd be asking for your autograph.
Oh my goodness! So now it's too much. All right, you talked me out of it. Pacific Financial Planners, Jerry Slusowitz. Thank you so much for joining us, as always.
Hey, Michael, thanks for having me.
All right, when we come back, we'll be talking to folks from Reform Temple of Laguna Woods. Stay with us.
Seniors fear running out of money more than death itself. And the number one mistake you can make is underestimating volatility, which can derail your retirement. For 35 years now, I've coached seniors to financial independence by using 2 simple rules. Never take big losses and create income along the way. It's your financial future. Call now to get a free risk analysis to ensure your investments are protected, and we'll send you our Safer Money System, 949-219-0692.
Theater Guild presents In Juliet's Garden. Consider this. 5 women challenge their creator, William Shakespeare. Why? Find out on June 18th at Clubhouse 2 in this clever and interactive play with lunch. Cost $28. Register at theaterguildlw.com.
Your smile is key to your overall health. Put it into good hands with Lohberg Dental. We are restorative dentistry experts specializing in fillings, crowns, dental implants, root canals, and more. Come experience our exceptional care for yourself with a special offer for new patients. Your first exam and set of x-rays is free without insurance. Let us give you something to smile about. Visit drlohberg.com today to make an appointment and get your free exam and x-rays.
Welcome to Envision Eye Centers, conveniently located next to Laguna Woods. We offer cutting-edge technology that meets unsurpassed service.
You and your eyes are my priority. We will treat you with the utmost care and compassion.
Some might offer local exams, but they'll send you on a trek for surgery. Skip the unnecessary travel.
You can be confident that we will deliver the best outcome for your eyes.
Schedule your consultation today and see the world clearly. Call us or visit our website. No inconvenience, just expert care.
Reform Temple of Laguna Woods has a big memorial concert coming up. We're going to talk about that and much more with our guest, Stuart Hack. Thank you for joining us, Stuart.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Always welcome. We always love having the Reform Temple folks on. They always have great things going on. Before we get to the concert, though, you guys have your usual meeting coming up that we want to talk a little bit about, the annual membership meeting?
Yes, that's the time when the officers change. And it's particularly important this year because my wife is president. She's been president for 2 years. And she's going to be retired from the presidency. Are we going to have fun?
Yeah, you get to relax a little bit, right?
Indeed.
The actual
indeed.
retirement. I think it's
Yeah.
funny, so many people come to this community and they get more involved and more busy than they were when they were actually working full-time jobs, it seems.
But we do it because we love it.
Right, you get to
which is
choose
the
the things. You're not
Exactly.
doing it for income, you're doing it for the love of it, so
Yeah,
that's a real
yeah.
fun thing too. But I can appreciate the idea of and we get to have some fun times now.
Yep. In addition. So that's on Sunday, June the 23rd at Clubhouse 5, 2 o'clock. And so we have the official election of officers as if anybody's going to vote against the people who were nominated. And committee reports, accomplishments during the year. And thank you to the outgoing board members. And then we even have refreshments. It's going to be interesting refreshments this year.
Oh, interesting. Okay, we'll take that. That sounds like a good one. And Reform Temple always has a lot going on, so I know there's going to be a lot to talk about the highlights of the past and then the future. But let's look a little bit into the future and talk about this memorial concert, Fran Braun Memorial Concert that you have coming up.
Yep. So it's a tribute to Debbie Friedman, and people who go there are going to have a fabulous experience. Debbie Friedman is a former Laguna Woods resident.
Right.
She passed away in 2011, and she was called the Joan Baez of Jewish song. Her songs have been widely integrated into Shabbat services through all the branches of Judaism, as well as in Christian music, Christian church music. Cheryl Friedman, her sister, who also lives here in Laguna Woods, is going to narrate an audio visual of Debbie, so we'll see her performing and find out about who she was as a person. And then Barry Silverman and the South Coast Symphony Orchestra, there will be 25 musicians playing an Orin composition for orchestra of some of Debbie Friedman's music. And this composition has been played in major environments all around the world. It is beautiful. I've heard it a couple of times. And then Juanita Sue is going to do a multi-denominational choir singing Debbie Friedman's music.
Wow. And it seems like Debbie touched a lot of people's lives, not only in her music, but also living here, right? And being among, the folks here.
It was wonderful to have her here. She traveled a lot, but this was her home base because her mother and her aunt lived here as well as her sister. Frances Baum, she was a resident here and passed away January 30th, 2022. She had a beautiful voice. She sang in the women's choral group, the Harmonaires. She danced with the Rock and Rollers. She was a bona fide clown and entertained in hospitals for patients and brought cheer to people in need. She was also a member of the Council of Jewish Women, and she was a bridge player. She did slip casting. She was quite a gal. She also organized a book club here. So her husband Bert was looking for a way to memorialize her. And because of her connection to the temple and because of her love of music, he approached our board of directors 2 years ago and said he would like to do something. So last year he sponsored the musical entertainment when we had our fundraiser last year, and he's sponsoring the entertainment again this year. And Bert's an interesting guy. So Bert is a former Third Mutual board member.
Okay.
And he survived that.
Yeah, well, that's a tough gig. I've seen the meetings.
It's a tough. It is. I'm not volunteering for that. But he's currently on the boards of Laguna Woods Village Foundation and also the History Center board.
Okay.
So even though he's well up into years and he's a bit fragile, he is still participating effectively in our community. So they chose this as a way to memorialize Fran, recognizing her devotion to music and Judaism and her connection to the Reformed Temple of Laguna Woods.
So what do you guys use when you guys do these fundraisers? Where do the monies go? How do they support the Reformed Temple?
So the Reformed Temple is unusual for many reasons, and one of them is that we don't have a building. So
the temple without walls.
A temple without walls, exactly. So we rent clubhouses here for our Friday night services and our high holiday services and our events, which is an amazing opportunity. Living in this village, just to be able to do this. But by doing that, we keep our dues very low.
Okay.
In fact, we just raised them.
No overhead, so to speak.
Our overhead is our clergy, and Juanita Sue, who is the choir director, and some part-time help for our events. So it's a wonderful opportunity for people to belong to a temple, and it's very inexpensive. But the fundraising is what pays for much of what goes on in our
Gets you from A to B and make sure you can continue the great programs that you're already doing. So just for a reminder, folks, Sunday, June 23rd, Clubhouse 5 at 2 o'clock. That's the annual membership meeting. Get out to that and enjoy some great exotic foods, some different foods, as it says. And then, of course, we have Sunday, June 30th, 2 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center. We have the Fran Baum Memorial Concert and musical tribute to Debbie Friedman. So
tickets can be bought at the box office. We also have the opportunity for people to be donors, and they're more expensive tickets, but it includes a party afterwards with the musicians, and those tickets can be bought through Carol Sandusky in our temple.
Okay.
I don't know. You want her phone number?
we have the information on the screen. I think.
Good. Okay.
Stuart Hack from Reform Temple. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with your upcoming events. And you're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
The King Living mid-year sale is on now. 5 decades of Australian furniture design, crafted for a lifetime of comfort. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Sale on now.
Did you ever?
The King Living mid-year sale is on now. Save up to 50% on Australian-designed, award-winning furniture. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Sale on now.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We're focused on your eye care at all 3 of our Orange County locations.
Our new location in Laguna Hills, Orange, and San Clemente.
Each facility features the latest in advanced technology and diagnostic equipment.
And a trusted collection of doctors that care about your vision and your quality of life.
We deliver what matters to you and your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
When we talk about cancer, we talk about how we're going to beat it. We talk about the 100 million lives impacted every year because of City of Hope's discoveries and our team of more than 1,600 cancer specialists, all dedicated to ending cancer and giving you hope.
And welcome back. I want to tell you about a great event coming up this week. It's Juneteenth. It's going to be brought to us by the African American Heritage Club, and it's going to be over at Clubhouse 5 on the 15th. They have a great dinner coming up and show and dancing and all sorts of great stuff. So make sure you get out there for that. The RSVP for that is tomorrow. That's the deadline. So if you want to get out there and enjoy that, make sure you get out there. Let's take a quick check of the weather before we head out for the day, and it is going to be sunny and mild, sunny and mild, sunny and mild. And then on Saturday, we're talking about some warmer temperatures, so that's going to be the real warm-up. That's the real news in our weather is Saturday we might have a nice, really warm summer-like day, but otherwise, sunny and mild with some morning clouds. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. Tomorrow on the program, Envision and Publishing Club are going to be here, so stay tuned for that. For all of us here at Village Television, I hope you make this day a great one.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. Remember me? I'm the king of whoopee. And you're watching Village Television. But everybody does.